one of the biggest challenges for Muslims that are not living in Muslim majority countries is to pray their 5 daily prayers. Now, the 5 daily prayers, they have set times, which means that there is a range, there's a period in the day in which each prayer has to be performed in. So, for example, the prayer that is before sunrise, there's a certain period of time that it has to be performed in, and it ends at the time of the prayer ends at sunrise. The noon or the afternoon prayer starts from immediately after noon, after the sun moves from its zenith point, all the way until Asr time, until the prayer of a little bit in the just before the evening, but it's around the um, how do I translate this? Even translating it is fun. But anyhow, so there are certain set times for the prayers, and the Muslims, just like any normal people, they go to work, they go shopping, they perform different types of activities, but they still have to keep those 5 daily prayers. So how do they do that? Well, they get very creative. One of the ways to do it is to try to find a location that's a bit quiet. So, for example, if you are at work, you might take a bit of a conference room for a short period of time, and then you would pray there. If you're traveling, you might try to find a quiet corner in the airport and try to find the direction of Mecca, and then you would perform your prayer there. If you are at school, you might pray outside of the classroom. If there is a multi-faith room and you have time, you can run to it, you could perform your prayer and then go back to your school. Or sometimes even you might need to pray outside. So I remember sometimes when we were running between classes, there's just not enough time to go to the multi-faith room. So as we were going from one class to another, we might stand under a tree, and then we might perform our prayer and head out. Now, it is also important to know that not everybody knows that Muslims pray 5 times a day, and hence there are these funny, awkward situations that might arise either at work or in the airport or when you're at the mall, and hence that's a good time for Muslims to explain what they're doing. I remember one time I was in the airport, and that was a really tough time for the Muslims to be traveling due to some of the violent activities that have happened. But the prayer time came, and I have to pray. And my airplane is gonna depart in a bit, and I don't have time to find the chapel and pray at it. So I had to look for kind of the most public and place that I can find that is feasible, so that I don't look suspicious. And I just stood there and I prayed. And I do remember that there were once I started prayer, there were some security guards that were roaming around the area, but you just have to live with that. It's easier to explain when you're praying in public that you're not hiding anything than if you're hiding somewhere and you're trying to pray. I remember also one time I was in the school, and we arranged with the school to give us a room just so that between classes we can use it for the prayer. And then one teacher had no idea that we were using that room. It was a very small room, had a little computer in it. And the teacher, as we were praying, the teacher came and wanted to enter. And obviously we're standing behind the door because it's really tight, and the teacher is trying to push and open the door, and she got words like, oh, okay, oh, and then she sees some kids that are bowing and prostrating and stuff like that, so she just pushes really hard on the door, just almost bringing us all down on our faces as we were praying. And then I had to kind of end my prayer and say, so and so, we're doing our prayer. Is that okay? And she's like, oh yeah, yeah, sorry. She had no idea what we were doing. So yeah, there are some funny, awkward situations that might arise. Sometimes when we're at the mall, what we do is that we go to some of those private rooms that are kind of the dress rooms, right? When you want to try an outfit or something, and then we just use that and we pray there. I prayed sometimes at the parking lot. You just go down, you go to the parking lot beside where you park your car, and you just face Mecca and then you pray. But it's definitely an interesting dilemma, and it requires a lot of creativity and requires a lot of determination as well. It's not easy to be different, and but you get used to it. So that's something that I explained today, because we were talking about me and my family, and I thought it might be an interesting topic to chat about. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next episode.